Hi guys, good morning. How are you today? So, as you can see, we are busy marking scripts. So, these exams or these continuous assessment tests were done pre-COVID, okay? Before the lockdown. So, yeah, we're just marking the scripts. One of the most difficult tasks, activities of being a teacher, right? So teaching is one. You really have to prepare before you go to class. Okay. So I just finished 2 master's degree programs. Master of Science in Educational Management. Okay. We did it online using Zoom. I finished also MBA and Master of Management in Agribusiness. Okay, so those are the 3 programs that we just concluded. So yeah, maybe in my previous videos I have talked about how I prepare for class. Really, to teach in the graduate programs is different from teaching in the undergraduate. Why? Especially in the MBA, we have adult learners plus people with years and years of experience in the industry, and our qualification to admit students in the MBA is quite impressive. They must have second class honors to first class honors, and then minimum of I think 3 years managerial experience. That's for our MBA. So to facilitate a session in the MBA is quite difficult but exciting. All right. So as I mentioned maybe in my past blogs, even for cases that I have taught many times in the past, I still have to prepare for minimum of 2 hours. All right. Why? Because I'm dealing with different type of students. Okay. You can never anticipate what these students will bring in the discussion. So it's important that you really have to prepare. So preparation, preparation, preparation. Now, let's go to the second part. Marking of scripts, which is another thing, by the way. Examining students, whether or not they have really learned the things that you wanted to deliver is another thing. By the way, when I was doing a master's in business education, after I did my MBA, I did another master's in business education, right? And then afterwards, I did PhD in development education, but I specialize in strategic information systems, okay, in my PhD. So we learned on how to examine students. How do we examine students, by the way? Many times, many things to consider. All right, many things. Well, we go back to Bloom's taxonomy of objectives. Okay, The lowest level is, of course, recall. Okay? So just recall of concepts, ideas, principles. Okay? So that would be the lowest level of learning, recall. The second is understanding. Do you want to measure if the students understand the concept? That's the second level of learning, understanding. The third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth are the most interesting one. Okay? Application. Okay? So, students, if they recall, if they understand, they should be able to apply. Okay? That's the third. And the higher level of learning, application. And then we have analysis, synthesis. Okay? What else? Is it judgment? Alright? Now, question. How are you going to examine students in terms of application, in terms of analysis, in terms of synthesis, in terms of, say, judgment? Remember, we're dealing with graduate students, adult students. Okay. So to formulate questions that would be able to examine students along those learning objectives is quite a challenge as well. So teaching is already difficult. Why? Because you really have to prepare a lot. Examining them is another thing. So the life of the teacher is really exciting, but full of challenges, but very fulfilling and maybe rewarding as well. Okay? Especially if you see my students, MBA students, I can see that they are really climbing the corporate ladder. They are making a name for themselves, and of course bringing fame to the school. Okay? I have had so many former MBA students become CEOs, managing directors, okay, of big companies here in Kenya and in the region. Alright, so what kind of questions I normally ask in the MBA? Because I'm teaching information systems and operations management. Alright? Just to give you an example of the kind of questions that I ask in the MBA and the kind of answer that I am looking for, for the student to really get the highest mark. Alright? Okay, so suppose I give you this question. So information systems are too important to be left to computer specialists. Do you agree? Why or why not? Okay? That's an example of a question. Say, I'll give you 10 marks. How would you answer that question? Okay, I repeat. Information systems are too important to be left to computer specialists. Do you agree? Why or why not? Okay? So that question is aimed at testing the ability of the students to recall, to understand, to analyze, to apply. Okay? First and foremost, I do not know. Can you just comment below? What do you think? How are you going to answer that question? Are information systems too important to be left to computer specialists? Right? I think that question also entails some form of judgment, okay, and then synthesis. All right. First and foremost, the statement was targeting the question rather. Remember, I'm dealing with MBA students, okay? MBA students. And I'm asking this because these MBA students, of course, are business people. They are meant to assume leadership roles in companies. And I'm asking this question to them now, assuming that they are already leaders of these companies, okay? Information systems are too important to be left to computer specialists. You are now the leader of the company. Do you agree? Why or why not? All right. First and foremost, we analyze the question. Okay. Information systems are too important. That's very presumptuous. Okay. It assumes immediately that information systems are too important. Now, if you are to answer that question, you have to recall areas wherein information systems are really important. Now, what makes information systems important? Then let's go now to your business background. All right. What are the areas wherein information systems have the potential to impact? Okay. Areas of the organization wherein they could benefit from information systems. Right? So you see now, a simple question and yet it is deep and loaded, wherein an MBA student would try to recall, use his understanding, apply, analyze, and then use judgment. Okay? So, for you to be able to get 10 marks from that question, I expect that the student, the MBA student, should be able to identify 2 areas wherein information systems could have potential impact. One is in their strategy. Okay? Alright? So, information systems today have the potential to impact their strategy. Strategy. Say, for example, you wanted to increase sales. That's part of your strategy. You wanted to expand your market. That's part of strategy. Okay? You wanted to beat the competition. That's another strategy. Alright? So, information systems have the potential to impact strategy. And another area wherein information systems can really provide some meaningful contribution is in terms of your operations. Okay? In terms of business operations. You wanted to achieve higher efficiency, operational excellence. Okay? You wanted to reduce waiting time. You wanted to reduce turnaround time. You wanted to increase throughput or output, operational efficiency. All right? So, for example, information systems have that potential to impact strategy and operations, then by all means, I expect the students to agree with the statement. All right? Then it is truly, indeed, too important to be left to computer specialists. And then, I expect my students to give examples of this type of information systems. All right? Say, an enterprise resource planning system, a supply chain management system, a customer relationship management system, a knowledge management system, or maybe they wanted to implement, say, big data and business analytics, or they wanted to transform the company into a digital company. Those types of information systems and projects would require a very senior manager, a very senior leader of a business, an organization, to be involved. So they can't be left to computer specialists. So you see now the kind of answer that I would require from my student if I ask that type of question. Now the problem is formulating exam questions like that would be quite easy, comparable to other form of examinations, but it is quite difficult to mark, okay, to check, because you really have to read the answers of the students, okay. So essay, discussion type of questions is relatively quite easy to formulate, but very difficult to mark. On the other hand, multiple choice of questions, they're very difficult to formulate, but easier to mark. You see now, that's the balance. So what kind of questions we're going to formulate to examine the students? Again, the kind of questions that we ask, we need to go back again to our course objectives. So what are the skills? What are the knowledge? What are the areas that you wanted your students to develop, to acquire at the end of the course? And those are the areas that you wanted to examine as well. If they really develop those skills, they acquire those skills, they have gained those knowledge, and so on and so forth, and they know how to apply. All right. So yes, guys. So that's the life of a teacher. So shout out to all teachers, by the way. Salute to you guys. All right. Yeah. Yesterday I was watching a video of Robert Kiyosaki, and he was talking about fake money, fake teachers, fake assets. All right. In fact, that's the one reason why I posted that statement on my. If you haven't done so, you can check it out down there. Robert Kiyosaki said, there are so many fake teachers out there. And he even mentioned in the interview about his friend who is teaching at UC Santa Barbara. And he told his friend, what gives you the right, by the way, to teach entrepreneurship? Just because you have a master's in entrepreneurship. If you haven't even put up a single business enterprise. The problem sometimes with many teachers is we don't practice what we preach. Okay? We don't practice what we teach. We try to convey information, knowledge that we have read in the book, or maybe we have researched, but we ourselves have not done it in practice. The way, if you do that, you teach in the MBA, and you don't have actual practical experience, your students will laugh at you. Why? Because they will tell you point blank that what you're teaching is not applicable out there. Okay? They will tell you, in front of the class, and you will be embarrassed. Why? Because some of our students, in fact, I have a student, for example, who has a master's in information systems before. Okay? Master of Science in Information Systems from the UK. And then, to complete his training, he registered in the MBA. That's one type of student. Another student is, I had the former Director General of Kenya Revenue Authority seated in the class in the MBA. And I'm teaching information systems and operations management. And we know that Kenya Revenue Authority, they have implemented huge systems, okay, information systems, to improve collection of, tax. And you know this. Now imagine if the former Director General of Kenya Revenue Authority is seated in your class and you're teaching information systems. And you have a student with a Master of Science in Information Systems who is the head of, say, region, and he or she is seated in your class. That's the challenge, by the way. We have so many fake teachers today. We have so many teachers who don't have practical knowledge, practical experience. Okay? Just because you have a master's degree does not give you the right or the qualification to teach. I think we are shortchanging students if that is the case. Lucky for us, one thing that has really helped me in teaching and dealing with executives is our case writing activities. Okay, so I wrote so many cases already. Equity Bank, all right, Seven Seas Technologies, Law Africa, and many others. Okay, many other cases that we wrote. And by writing cases, I have been in contact with the captains of the industry, CEOs, managing directors, like that. And then, of course, you see now you're documenting a true to life story, a real case, and then I use that case in teaching. All right. So students can really relate. Why? Because it's a true story. It's a true story of a managing director, of a CEO, of a real person with a real job who is confronted with a real problem, especially in information systems, especially in strategy, especially in operations. You see now the richness of the discussion when you engage the students using a case. And of course, as a facilitator, as a case teacher, because I'm the one who wrote the case. And I really asked a lot of questions. And I got a lot of answers from the protagonist, from the CEO himself. Okay? I know what kind of questions to ask my students. Alright? That's one that really has really helped me in teaching the executives. Okay? Because of case writing. Number two, I had the opportunity to work as Chief Information Officer. Okay, in an energy company here in East Africa. Chief Information Officer is the highest possible position that an IT professional could aim for in an organization. Right? Used to be, it's called ICT Director. Alright? But today, the role has evolved into a Chief Information Officer. Alright? So at least, so I have experience, at least even for 1 year, on how to be a Chief Information Officer. So I sat on the board. I made board presentations, convincing the board to invest millions in information systems. I debated with our Chief Finance Officer, CFO, alright, with our Chief Talent Officer. We used to call it HR Director, but in other companies, they call them already Chief Talent Officer. And then you bring into your side the Chief Operating Officer, the COO, and then the Commercial Director, of course. Things like that. Okay? So that's 1 year of experience as a Chief Information Officer. Oh my God. I have learned a lot. I have experienced a lot. Okay? And I can honestly say that what we are teaching in the classroom is very relevant and very much applicable out there. Okay? Yes, technologies change. Technologies change. But business issues, management issues will remain the same. Should we upgrade or not? How much should we invest? How are we going to justify it to the board? How can we optimize returns of our investment in information system? These business issues, these management issues will remain the same, although technologies will change. Okay? So from those, okay, cloud computing, business intelligence, enterprise resource planning systems, big data, and business analytics. Now we have Internet of Things. We have robotics and artificial intelligence. We have cryptocurrency. Technologies change. But again, as I mentioned, business issues remain the same. Should we change? Should we adopt this new technology? Should we upgrade? How much? How are we going to justify? How are we going to optimize return? Business issues, management issues remain the same. That's why I really love teaching in the MBA. I really love teaching in the executive education. So that's two, by the way. So I write cases. So that now we are in constant interaction with the captains of the industry. And I have the opportunity to work as Chief Information Officer. And number 3, I had the opportunity to sit on the board of one IT company. Okay? So at least there, I had the experience. So before, as a Chief Information Officer, I had the experience on how to deal with the board. Okay? How to address the board. On how to convince the board. Okay? So now, let's turn around the table. I'm the one seated on the board now, listening now to managers making their presentations, and whether or not we're going to approve as a body. Okay? If what management is trying to do, okay, is good for the company, is it rational, is it logical, is it legal? Because the board is more of a policy making body, okay, that gives direction to management on how to run the business. I'm just quite lucky that I had those 3 opportunities, by the way. So, going back, this is my challenge to our fellow teachers, by the way. Just because you have a master's degree, just because you have a PhD, does those paper qualifications give us already the authority to teach in the classroom? I saw many professors, by the way. They became professors because of publishing papers in journals. But they themselves, they have no practical experience on how to start a business, on how to run a business, or even how to run a department. So how can you teach in the MBA? What are we teaching our students then? Well, anyway, thank you so much for joining me in this live video. I'll spend the whole of my today marking all these papers. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. It is indeed a very challenging task. Sometimes mind-draining activity. But we have to do it. Why? Part of the job. Okay? The job that we learn to embrace, to love. I love being a teacher, by the way. I think it runs in my blood. My parents are both teachers. My mom used to teach class 1, standard 1 or grade 1. My dad used to teach grade 6 or standard 6. Right? So there was a time I told myself I'll never be a teacher. Why? I saw their life, Buana. I saw their life. And at that time, it was not really financially rewarding to be a teacher. Alright? It's not financially rewarding. It doesn't really compensate your effort. Okay? But why did they do it? Maybe because of passion, love for the profession. So when I was doing my undergrad, I took computer engineering because I told myself I don't want to be a teacher. I want to do other things. Okay? But look at me now. I'm still a teacher. Alright? I'm still a teacher. I'm also a teacher. And I love it. By the way, I love it. Good. So that's all for today, guys. I think I managed to share some of my thoughts with regards to teaching, with regards to marking, preparation, and how can we become authentic teachers? Is we believe what we read, and then we teach what we believe, and we practice what we teach. Okay? That way, we are not fake teachers. We are authentic teachers. Okay? And authentic teachers are believable. Okay? I repeat, authentic teachers are believable. Alright, so that's all for today. Thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Tumsipo yo sa Kristo. Melele na melele. Amina. Mungu awabariki. God bless us all. Okay? Take care. Keep safe. Okay? Hopefully this lockdown will be over soon. Nairobi is still in lockdown. We have, I think it was 47 new cases yesterday here in Kenya. About 12 of them are in Nairobi. Okay, so let's hope and pray that this COVID-19 will be over soon. And then I don't know if things will go back to normal. In fact, as we speak, my children are attending online classes. Okay? Will that be the new normal? I think so. One thing that will change, even, alright, employers will now consider hiring overseas workers. Okay? That's even more challenging now for job seekers. Look, there are about 3.5 billion people with internet access. So your chances of getting the job has become slimmer. Number two, I think that will become permanent is these hugs and kisses will change, by the way, completely. I do not know if our culture, our habit of shaking hands and hugging people and kissing people when we meet them will still be there even after COVID-19. I think it will change. Another thing that I know will change is how we handle our finances. Many people were caught unprepared financially because of this COVID-19. Alright? That's why before COVID-19, I've been teaching, preaching about financial literacy, about financial education, on how we should save and invest. I've been doing that already. Lucky for us, we practice what we teach. Okay? I have 5 months emergency fund. Okay? I have 5 months emergency fund. Half of it in cash, half of it in a savings deposit. Okay? Anyway, thank you guys. That would be another topic again for another live video. So again, let me repeat my final greetings. Enjoy the rest of your day. Tumsifu Yesu Kristo, melele na melele amina. Mungu awabariki. May God bless us all. Okay? Bye, take care, and keep safe.